Hello everyone, I'm Piotr Nguyen, international master from Poland. I know it's very hard to pronounce my name, but I'm not here to teach you how to pronounce it. I'm here to teach you something much easier, I think. So I'm going to teach you some chess. So 1 month ago, I played a very nice tournament in Gabicce Mare in Italy. And today I'm going to show you a very nice game I played in the penultimate round. Here is the position, and I was playing white against the FIDE master Barp Alberto, and okay, it looks like white has some advantage as the d4 pawn is very weak. White has a very nice Benoni structure, and already I managed to break with b4, so I can push b5 at some point, dislodging this knight from c6, so weakening once more the d4 pawn. So here's the question for you. What would you play with white? I spent a lot of time during the game on this move, as I was calculating mainly knight f3, which looks as it's going to win a d4 pawn, after which like center collapses and okay, white will have very huge advantage. But we always need to ask ourselves, do we have something better? And we need to also look at our opponent's possibilities. So we can see black's knight on g6 doesn't look so great. He's restricted by the pawn on g3. But actually black can try to play f4, gaining some counterplay, and this was something I was mainly calculating. So now white goes b5, and now knight c5, and white can just capture the pawn on d4. And I was looking at knight c takes d4, but after bishop g4 I felt like black has some compensation for the pawn, and I didn't like this position. I just felt I have much more in the position. So I can also exchange the knights. After bishop takes e5, I can capture the pawn on b7. So here also white is a pawn up. But here we can see black has some bishop h3. And after rook e1, just take, and it looks black has some compensation. So I didn't like this variation. And actually, after I came home, I analyzed this with the engine, and I saw that there is some crazy tactics there. Objectively, white should be okay there, but well, I don't think it's a very good technique to go into such positions. White can sacrifice the queen and win the pawn on d4. Okay, we can give check first, moving black's king to the worst square, then win the rook on a8. Then we can try to win this one. There are some back rank tricks, and objectively white may be still a bit better, but this is a crazy position. Why to go for this? And so this is something can play correspondence chess. But let's return to the position I was thinking about. So I realized I don't need to win the pawn on d4 straight away. I can win it later, as this pawn is just very weak. So I found a very nice idea, which is quite common in the Benoni structure. I went f4, just ruling out any counterplay. Now black can try to defend the pawn on d4, and my opponent found a very nice move, rook b8, preparing some b5. Okay, note that at the moment this is impossible, but if we go knight f3, attacking the pawn on d4, now black has b5. But here white has some nice trick. White can play knight g5 and just take on c6 with the advantage. But I didn't go for knight f3, which as I said is quite okay. I felt like I don't need to hurry. as b5 is not threatened at the moment, I can just improve some other pieces. So I went queen d2. I can play knight f3 a bit later. So the queen, why the queen is good on d2? Well, it can go to f2. It can also go to some b4 if I go b5. So my opponent just went queen d7. Now he wants to go b5. So I went b5 myself, and after knight d8, I was thinking about knight f3, but there I realized after c5, b takes c6, knight takes c6. Okay, white is slightly better. It's with a typical play like in a Benko gambit. I can try to go rook b5, just double there, and so on. But I realized, why not bishop a3 immediately? So now black can't play c5, so I would just take this. And if he goes rook e8, then I will play knight f3, preparing some bishop c5, queen f2, playing around this d4 pawn and finally taking it. So my opponent decided to play bishop e7. I just took it. And okay, still I could play some knight f3 with some advantage, but I played queen b4, stopping his main idea of c5. So my opponent played bishop f7, and now finally I played knight f3, introducing the main theme, Octopus Knight. Just look how strong this knight is. Just covers so many squares. So it's very good defending and attacking piece. Usually we speak about Octopus Knight when it's located on the 6th rank, but I think it's in this case it's just as strong as on the 6th rank, so I still call it Octopus Knight. So black went queen d8, and I just improved my position. Rook e1, the rook was doing nothing on f1. I could take on f7, of course, and then c5 with very nice position. But I just felt I don't need to exchange such a great knight for a bad bishop. I can do it maybe later. So I went rook e1, and there could be a threat at some point, knight takes f7, as there will be some problems with the e6 knight. I can also play for something like c5. So my opponent just felt like, okay, now he has to play c5. So I'm just taking it, take. Okay, queen takes b8. We are exchanging some pieces, and okay, the c6 pawn is hanging, so I can just take it. But the big question is how to take it. So here's the question for you. You can pause the video and think for yourself. So knight takes c6 looks very natural, but think about this very strong knight. Even though we also speak about such bishops that they are very strong, but at the moment this bishop, even though it's very strong, it doesn't have too many targets there. So actually after rook b2, knight c5, attacking the pawn on d3, well, we can take on d4, and alright, white is pawn up, but is it really winning? Well, there are not so many pieces left, and I'm afraid it's very close to be a draw, even though white is pawn up. So I played a very good move, bishop takes c6, after which knight takes c6, knight takes c6. I'm left with a very strong knight, rook b3, and now, okay, I could just play knight e5, but then black has some knight c5 attacking d3, so the best defense is the attack. So I played rook a1, introducing deadly threat of rook a8 check. So had black taken on d3, I would just give check. Alright, and it's all over. Rook takes f8. So my opponent played g6, and now the Octopus Knight just returns to its best square, so it's defending important d3 pawn and at the same time attacking the bishop on f7. So I can just give check, and if king moves to g7 I can just pin this bishop and finally maybe win this. So here, being short of time, my opponent lost a threat a little bit, I think. So rook c3, don't think it's very good, as I'm just improving my pieces. And okay, just played knight c6, and my opponent played very passive rook b7, but what else? So I gave check, king g7, and I just played very simple move. I'm pawn up, so I can just exchange pieces, and I'm left. Okay, he just gave check first. I'm left with a very strong knight on e5 against his very bad bishop. So he just gave check. I could go king f3, but I just didn't want to calculate anything, so I just went king e1. So now he has to react, as this one is hanging. So now he took on d8. I recaptured. So rook d7 is a threat, winning the bishop. So he went bishop g8. It's very, very sad square for the bishop, and I just played very simple knight f3. This Octopus Knight keeps everything under control. Now it just protects the pawn on h2, and I'm just going to win this pawn with the rook, probably. Just okay with 2 pawns up. Black is just completely lost, and he resigned. So I think it's very, very nice example of the very strong knight, and the main point was that I didn't go for the d4 pawn immediately. I played this f4, securing some important squares for my pieces, and winning this d4 pawn only later, as this is a long-term weakness. So I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel. I will upload many more videos, I think. So see you next time. Bye.